webinar today is building a toolkit for resilience, managing fear, anxiety and overwhelm, and enabling us to cultivate calm, clarity and control. So a little bit about me. My professional accreditations are mindset and wellbeing coach. I'm a mindfulness teacher. I am a compassion-focused wellbeing practitioner, and I am an immersive meditation leader. All of that is a massive mouthful. I specialise in helping people retain their resilience and become calm and manage stress and anxiety. That's it in a nutshell. Personally, in my old life, I spent 25 plus years in the stressful world of advertising and marketing, so I am familiar with stress. I'm also familiar with the O therapy family. Good old chemo, good old radio, good old immuno. Familiar with them through the wonderful work they did with both of my parents. I'm no stranger to a chemical menopause, but I am a massive, massive lover of science. Nothing that I share with you today is not founded in science. If I can't find it in a science manual, I don't share it. So what we'll discover today is our toolkit for resilience. And my objective is to share a whole host of tools with you. But like any good toolkit, you need to be able to dip in and out. You need to be able to use what's right for you, and you need to be able to leave what you don't need right in the box. So I've compiled this presentation so that you can refer to it in the future. Please only do what feels right for you today. Be safe and only do what is useful for you. And feel free to share with your loved ones if you think that there are tools that they could use as well. So, what is resilience? Mind categorised resilience as the ability to adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, and to bounce back from difficult experiences. Resilience is core in being human. We are only human. And when we learn to become resilient, we learn how to embrace the beautiful, broad spectrum of the human experience. And being only human is to be magnificent. It's to be a magnificent wonder of evolution. We are a symphony of cells and chemicals, all constantly dancing their intricate dance, evolving over 200 million years, along with all the other life on Earth. But what sets us apart from our roomies is our big brains. Our big, beautiful brain, which is capable of complex language and complex thought. Our brain grew over millennia. So in 30 seconds, I'm going to give you a very simplified history. About 200 million years ago, our ancestors and other animals developed their brain for survival. Think about us back on the savannah, think about us in our little loincloths and saber-toothed tigers, all that sort of stuff. But let's call that old brain. Old brain was built for safety. It was built so that we could identify and respond to danger, so that we could find food and shelter, form social bonds, to nurture. We were equipped with the emotions that would keep us safe: fear, anxiety, disgust, anger. And our behaviours to keep us safe were behaviours of fight and flight and freeze. Fast forward to about 1 million years ago, and we started to develop a whole host of new abilities. So we'll call this the new brain. Fantastically wonderful new brain. New brain that gave us the power of imagination, of reflection, of complex thinking, of complex language, of self-awareness, and also of creativity. Our brains grew, and our experiences and how we experienced the world changed. But in the modern world, with our modern brains and its wonderfully complex workings, we now have the ability to do so much more that's not necessarily helpful. Fantasizing, catastrophizing, worrying, ruminating on the past, worrying and imagining about the future, thinking about our social interactions, thinking about what others are thinking about thinking, overthinking. Our big, beautiful brains that were built for life on the savannah now have the modern day fears that are the equivalent of a saber-toothed tiger. Our big, beautiful brains are the result of millions of years of evolutionary biology, but our brain is a tricky thing. And the way it behaves is not our fault. It is the way that we have evolved, the way that we have been designed. But our brain, fundamentally, whether it was way back then or right today, has been designed to keep us safe, not to keep us happy. I want to share with you what's called the window of tolerance. And this is a model that shows where we are at any point in our emotional behaviours, for want of a better phrase. So the window of tolerance in the green area in the middle, that's our window of tolerance. When we're in the green area, our body is in its optimal state. We can manage our everyday stressors, and we can take on challenges, and we're not overwhelmed, and we don't shut down. But when we become overstimulated, we can go into hyperarousal, which in this diagram is our red zone. It's overactivation of the body's stress response system. And our nervous system becomes highlighted, and we are heightened. A state of alertness is heightened. We're in overdrive. The opposite of that is hypoarousal, which is underactivation of our nervous system, of the stress response. Effectively shutting down, freezing. Our body and our nervous system is in a lowered state of alertness. So how we might feel when we are in a state of hyperarousal is on edge, anxious, overwhelmed, unable to concentrate. What we might experience is an increase in heart rate. We might feel tense. We might have racing thoughts. We might have anxiety or panic. When we are in hypoarousal, we may feel shut down or disconnected. We may feel disengaged. We may feel completely unmotivated. And what we might experience there is numbness, fatigue, lethargy, sometimes a withdrawal from social interactions, but sometimes also a disconnection from oneself and from others. This toolkit will be there to help, when needed, come into the window of tolerance, which is where we feel emotionally regulated. It's where we feel safe. It's where we feel able to make decisions, where we feel in control. We experience peace. What we want to do in an ideal situation is expand our window of tolerance so that we are decreasing hyperarousal and hypoarousal. And there are a myriad of tools that we can use to widen our window. And I'm going to discuss with you today 6 of those. Mindfulness, the breath, visualization, nature, compassion, and joy. And it is a whirlwind. We're going to go quite quickly. I'm going to share tools with you. I'm going to talk to you about hints and tips. Use what is useful. And first thing we're going to talk about is meditation. So, mindfulness is what we're talking about. Mindfulness is a way of paying attention on purpose and non-judgmentally. It is paying attention to what is going on in the present moment, in your body, your mind, and the world around you. Now, that definition is by Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he is what's known as basically the father of mindfulness. He formulated mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR, widely accepted around the world and within the healthcare community. Mark Williams is a wonderful man. He's the director of the Oxford Mindfulness Centre, and he is the creator of mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, another excellent modality. Mark's take on this is that mindfulness could also be described as heartfulness, because it really is about a compassionate awareness. When I share this with my clients, I pull out those key words that you can see on the screen. And the way I describe it is that mindfulness is the art of noticing the now, without judgment, noticing our thoughts, noticing our feelings, and noticing our sensations, as well as the people and the world around us, with curiosity, compassion, and acceptance. Mindfulness doesn't need to be all flowing robes and cross legs. That's not what it's about, really. A busy life can be a mindful life. Mindfulness practice doesn't have to be about sitting still for hours. You can be mindful in the moment. It's called a practice because it's an ongoing way of being. We practice coming out of what's known as habitual autopilot, and we come into awareness so that we can intentionally experience the moment that we're in, this moment, and the next, and the next, fully. When we learn to take care of the moments, we learn to widen our window. There are two forms of mindfulness. We have formal and we have informal. Now, formal mindfulness might be what a lot of you are familiar with. This involves the intentional use of a meditation, and it's often inviting us to follow the breath. We explore aspects of sensations in the body, our emotions, our feelings, and our thoughts, but always with an anchor, and it's a formal process. But mindfulness within our daily lives, or informal mindfulness, can be anything and everything. It's about savouring those moments that we might ordinarily think are mundane, going for a mindful walk, eating or drinking. Now, whether or not we can eat a lot, whether or not we can eat the tiniest of morsels, we can be mindfully eating by savouring what we are eating with our five senses. What I find to be a wonderful sensation is the mindful application of hand cream. When you are noticing exactly how it feels to rub that lotion across your palms and across your fingers, it is incredibly soothing. That is mindfulness. There is a thing as mindful listening, when you are noticing and fully attentive with your loved ones, colleagues, or friends, when you're in mid-conversation. There are a whole host of things in the world of mindfulness. I'm going to share with you one meditation. It is a short meditation. You don't need to do anything other than be comfortable and sit relatively upright if you can, or lie down. Don't need to look at the screen. You just follow my voice. And because I want to give you a really solid toolkit, I've left the script for all of the meditations that I will do with you today in here so that you can refer to them in the future if you wanted to share them with family members or friends. So, when you are ready, get comfy, settle into the moment, close your eyes and lower your gaze. Start to notice your breathing. Where is the sensation of breathing most noticeable for you? It might be around your nostrils and your mouth, where the cool air enters and the warm air leaves you. It might be in your chest, or perhaps lower down in your tummy, where you might notice a gentle sensation of expansion as you breathe in, and a gentle contraction as you breathe out. But once you've identified where you're most aware of your breathing, just allow your attention to be there, noticing every in and every out breath. You're not trying to change the depth or the pace of your breathing in any way. You are noticing your breath happen in whatever way it happens. And when your mind wanders, which it will, just acknowledge it and label this altered awareness as whatever it is, accepting that this is also part of your mindful awareness. And then gently lead yourself back to your breathing. And it doesn't matter if your awareness wanders away once, twice, or 100 times. Just lead it gently back to your awareness of breathing. My voice will be quiet for a short time as you continue to notice your in-breath and notice your out-breath for a few moments. And now give yourself 3 longer, slower, deeper breaths as you come all the way back to the sound of my voice. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes. Let's talk about the breath. When you own your breath, nobody can steal your peace. That's an anonymous quote, and it's one of my favorites because there is so much truth behind that. We take, on average, 20,000 breaths a day. But sadly, a large proportion of us are not breathing properly. And one reason for this might be our posture. There is a medical condition now that has been recognised, and it's called email apnea. And it's because we spend our lives hunched across screens, holding our breath when we're concentrating, when we're working, instead of doing what we're supposed to do, which is allow our lungs the room to breathe. So here's a little trick. Put your hand on the back of your head and feel, if you can, there's a little bony nodule at the back of your head. That's your it's hard to say if you're me, occipital bone. Just feel that knobbly bit there. And then if you just gently push back on your hand, what you might notice is your spine straightens, but your rib cage opens, giving you more space to breathe. One reason is possibly our posture. Another reason is we tend to habitually shallow breathe because a lot of us spend our lives outside of our window of tolerance. So we are breathing more shallowly than is optimal. But our lungs are covered in nerves, and many of those nerves are connected to our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight. Those nerves live in the top of your lungs. And many of them are connected to the bottom of our lungs. And that's your parasympathetic or rest and digest, which is why a big deep breath can feel so relaxing. Rapid, shallow breathing can repeatedly trigger the nerves in the top of our lungs and keep us in that fight and flight mode. So whenever you can, just try and take a deep breath. I'm going to give you a couple of tools because we can reset in seconds. So deliberate deep breathing can lower your stress, and so can following the breath. Just following the breath with no expectation can help lower your stress response. So there are 2 tools. First one is the physiological sigh. Now, this was discovered in the 30s. And basically, if you imagine when you have an upset child and they're resetting their system. The physiological sigh is a version of that. So I can't really do it while I'm speaking, so I'm going to tell you and then I'm going to show you. So what we do is we take a deep breath in through the nose, we fill our lungs, we allow the diaphragm to expand as we breathe in, and then we take another sip right at the top. And then exhale completely through the mouth. What we're doing is we are opening up the alveoli at the bottom of our lungs, and we are getting rid of all the stale stuff in our lungs, all the carbon dioxide, getting rid of it very quickly. It's a 10-second reset. We do it twice, maybe 3 times, no more. And this is how it looks. Do it with me if you'd like to. One more time. The physiological reset. Just 3 breaths is a 30-second reset. If you'd like to do it with me, I will guide you. So sit comfortably, relaxed and upright with your feet firmly on the floor. Close your eyes, or if you're more comfortable, keep them partially open and focus on a spot a few feet in front of you. Don't stare at your screen. Focus on a spot beyond the screen. Observe your natural breath. Your breath just as it is. Let it flow. Don't try to manage it in any way. Just notice the sensations as you inhale, and then gently notice the sensations as you exhale. Follow the flow of your next full inhalation and exhalation. And now take a third and final breath. Feeling the sensations of the natural inhalation, feeling the sensations of the natural exhalation. And again, if your mind wanders, don't worry. Bring your attention back to your breath. You're not judging. There's no criticism. If it helps, you might choose to silently repeat phrases such as breathing in, breathing out, or rising and falling. And when we complete 3 breaths, when you're doing this on your own, just take a moment. Have a stretch, or maybe take a little walk. But it is a 30-second reset. That is the amazing restorative power of the breath. Visualization. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I can achieve it. Muhammad Ali. We all have the power to visualize. Just think about how your mind conjures images when you read a book, and why sometimes the book's better than the film. Think about when a friend's directing you to that new exciting place and they say, oh, it's down the road, past the chemist, opposite the church. You're visualizing that. Famous athletes regularly attribute their wins to running the race or taking the shot over and over and over again until they perfect it in their minds. And there's a growing body of evidence that shows that in many different ways, the brain and the body doesn't distinguish real from imaginary. Visualization is shown to be a powerful tool for enhancing well-being, and there is a wide body of research now that supports it. The research shows that visualization can help reduce anxiety, stress, and fatigue. It can enhance mood and immune function, and it's also known to help with pain management and post-operative recovery time. Studies have been undertaken with patients with a wide range of medical conditions, from MS through to asthma, and I have put some examples on the screen below. The important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, is that a visualization was not used instead of medical treatment, but in addition to it. It's a tool that helps widen our window of tolerance because it enables us to imagine a soothing and more positive mental picture, which significantly lowers the stress hormone cortisol. And when you enter a relaxed state, your brain releases endorphins, which are our natural painkillers. So using your imagination is a helpful way to alter our relationship with pain or discomfort. But the secret to success with any visualization is practice and repetition, because it becomes more effective the more you do it. So we have a soothing colour visualization to share. So once again, get yourself nice and comfy. Settle into the moment. Close your eyes or lower your gaze. Begin to focus on your breathing. Allow the air of each breath to flow down to your bottom ribs as you feel them flare out on the in-breath and sink in on the out-breath. Play with the speed of your breath until you find a comfortable and soothing rhythm. Continue focusing just on your breathing in your peaceful rhythm. And if it feels comfortable to do so, you can experiment with slowing your breath just a little. And now turn your attention to your body, sensing the weight of your body resting on the chair and the floor underneath you. Let yourself feel held and supported by your chair. And remember, it is okay for your mind to wander. Just notice where it wanders and gently guide it back to awareness of your body. Feel the air flowing in and out of your nostrils, and simply allow yourself to be. Imagine a colour that you associate with soothing, kindness, or warmth. There are no rules as to what colour this can be. That is entirely up to you. Imagine this soothing colour surrounding you. Once it's surrounded you, imagine it entering through your chest, near your heart, and spreading through every inch of your body. And if this imagery doesn't call to you, try imagining a mist or a light made of this colour that flows through you. As the colour permeates your body, focus on this colour as one of soothing warmth and kindness. Allow the colour to fill your body. And if you have an area that needs some special attention, just guide the colour there. Let it gently intensify or radiate around the parts of you that need it most. And as you do, take a gentle smile as you enjoy the soothing sensation. Focus on the feeling that this colour's sole purpose is to help you, is to strengthen you, to support you and to soothe you. Stay here for a little while, bathing in your glorious colour. And now, when you are ready, open your eyes, take a lovely big stretch, and come back to the screen. I go to nature to be soothed and healed and have my senses put in order. John Burroughs. Did you know the Japanese government have been prescribing nature for over 40 years? They call it Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, and there's a wide body of research proving its benefits. It alleviates anxiety and depression, lowers blood pressure and cortisol levels, improves focus, concentration, and memory, and enhances immunity by increasing the body's NK, or natural killer cells. The Japanese developed this as an antidote to something called karoshi. And forgive me if anybody speaks Japanese for my pronunciation. But the literal meaning of karoshi is working oneself to death. The Japanese now prescribe nature and well-being, and the UK government in 2020 adopted the same. They launched the Green Social again, difficult if you're me, Green Social Prescribing across the UK. Go touch some grass is an interesting, cheeky insult that the youngsters on TikTok are using. But there is truth at its core. Grounding, physical connection to the earth, barefoot on grass or soil, can have a calming effect on our nervous system, can reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and enhance our overall emotional well-being. Get dirty. Getting dirty, getting your fingers grubby in soil can boost your mood, your immune system function, and overall health. Healthy soil contains a whole host of beneficial microbes, and one of them is Mycobacterium vaccae, which is known to stimulate serotonin production and have anti-inflammatory properties. So go get your fingers in some dirt. Petrichor is one of my favourite words and one of my most favourite things, and that is the smell of rain hitting dry earth, and it is the release of plant oils and ozone and a compound called geosmin, which is released by soil bacteria but also has beneficial effects in calming our mood and boosting our well-being. You don't have to be able to go outside to reap the benefits of nature. Just being near plants can help us widen our window. There's been research undertaken in the States where post-operative patients were in a room containing plants, and they were shown to recover faster and need fewer painkillers. And what's interesting is the studies showed that the beneficial effects were even greater when they were in a room with foliage and flowering plants. But it doesn't end there. There's a body of research that shows that our stress response can be dramatically reduced just by looking at imagery of nature or by listening to the sounds of nature, which is truly wonderful, because we can take nature wherever we need to go. We need to go to an appointment, we just take some pictures with us. We take our headphones with beneficial effects. Beautiful. Compassion is an awareness and sensitivity to suffering in ourselves and others, with a sense of commitment to alleviate and prevent it. This is Paul Gilbert, OBE, and he is the founder of compassion-focused therapy. How often do you put the needs of others before yours, even when you're struggling? As humans, we're hardwired for safety and nurturing, as we saw when we were talking about the brain. And often we do this at the expense of what we need. Treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding and acceptance that you would offer a close friend or a family member, especially when you're facing a difficult experience, is not selfish. It's essential. Self-compassion helps us widen our window. It enhances our emotional resilience. It helps us regulate our emotions, reduce anxiety and depression. It helps retain balance, and it improves our self-worth by offering unconditional acceptance from within. There are 3 components to self-compassion. Mindfulness, which we've explored, being present with your current experience and noticing and acknowledging your thoughts, feelings, or pain without judging, without avoiding or amplifying. And then we have self-kindness, being warm and understanding toward yourself when you're struggling rather than being critical and judgmental. And we have common humanity, which sounds quite cold, but it's actually a really lovely thought. Recognizing that imperfection and suffering are part of the shared human experience. It means we're not alone. When we recognize that we're part of the shared experience, it helps us not feel so isolated when facing our difficulties. I have a final meditation. It is called our safe space meditation. So again, settle into the moment, close your eyes, or lower your gaze. Begin to focus on your breathing. Allow the air in each breath to flow down to your bottom ribs. Feel them flare out on the in-breath and sink in on the out-breath. Play with the speed of your breath until you find a comfortable and soothing rhythm. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can experiment with slowing down your breath just a little. Now turn your attention to your body, sensing the weight of your body resting on the chair and the floor underneath. Let yourself feel supported and held by your chair. It is okay for your mind to wander. Notice where it wanders. Guide it gently back. Feel the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. And simply allow yourself to be. In a moment, I'd like you to imagine that you are walking down a corridor. And in front of you is a beautifully ornate door which is closed. You notice the beautiful colours and shapes on your door as you get closer to it. And you also notice a sign. The sign on the door says, "Your safe place." As you touch the door handle, you notice that you feel a sense of calmness, of safety, and of peace. You turn the door handle, and with a smile on your face, you step over the threshold and into your safe space. What can you see as you look around here in your safe space? As you start to explore, what can you see? What can you feel here as you explore your place of safety? How does it feel to be here right now? How does it feel on your skin? How do you feel within? What can you smell? Are there any enticing aromas filling your senses as you explore your safe space? Allow your body to relax. Relax your whole body, including your face. Let your face show your pleasure at being here in your safe space. Enjoy the sense of calm, of safety and peace that this space brings. Resting here in your safe space. And as you rest, imagine that your safe place actually gets pleasure from your presence as well. Feel how your safe place rejoices when you arrive, and feel your own pleasure at being there mirrored back to it. This is your safe space, and yours alone. You have an emotional connection with this place. So rest here for a few moments until my voice returns. Now it's nearly time. It's nearly time for you to leave here. But remember, this place belongs to you. This is your safe space, and you can return here whenever you need to feel safe, calm, free, and at peace. Come all the way back to the sound of my voice now. Flex your feet, rotate your ankles, come up through your legs, your torso, across your shoulders and down your arms as you open and you close your hands. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes. I'd like to share with you what I call repeatables, very useful tools for when we need to be kind to each other. I've left them all in the deck for you to refer to, but essentially they are repeated phrases that allow us to calm ourselves when we're in the midst of something. One of my particular favourite ones is, in the midst of it all, I am safe, calm, strong, present, whichever calls to you. When I have a Dr. Seussy one, makes me feel a little bit Dr. Seussy, and it is, I can and I will and I will and I can. I use it. It works. So I will leave those there for you in the presentation. Refer to them if they're useful. Use them if you want to. The final thing that we are going to talk about very, very quickly is joy. Anyone that knows me knows that I am a massive fan of glimmers. And this is a really wonderful little piece of prose from Donna Ashworth that says, there is a secret to unlocking the wonderful. If there is a secret to unlocking a wonderful life, It is to become, and I can't read it because it's been obscured on my screen, but it is to explore the magic in the minutiae and take delight in the ordinary and understand that true beauty lives in the smallest of wins. And I hope that I haven't just butchered Donna's piece because I can't see it. But anyway, it's beautiful. Glimmers are magic. That's not a scientific term, that's how I term it. Glimmers are moments of joy that can have a profound effect on widening our window. Just think of a glimmer as an opposite of a trigger. They are all around us. We just need to notice them. They are contagious. And once you start noticing them, you'll see them more and more often. You are noticing the things that bring you joy. And joy has a lasting benefit. Deb Dana is a neuroscientist and co-founder of the Polyvagal Institute, and she is the wonderful individual that developed the theory of glimmers. She writes this, how do you notice a glimmer? How do you notice you've connected with a glimmer? You may experience it in your body. One of the ways I recognize the glimmer is with a feeling of softening around my eyes and the beginning of a smile. A thought may catch your attention, or you may notice a glimmer through your senses, which are a smell, a taste, a sight, a sound, or the touch of something. Glimmers are magic. Very quickly, these are some of mine from today. The only one I'm going to talk to you about is my friend Wendy. Glimmers happen in the moment and they can stay with you. In 2018, my friend Wendy invited me to something that I will never ever forget. I got to watch her stem cell transplant. It was the most magical thing I have ever seen in my life. And as the fluid of her 2 million beautiful little ninja cells was flowing back into her, the nurse invited me to look as she shone a pen torch down it, and it was watching 2 million shimmering specks of light. We joked that they were her light ninjas as they flowed back into her. A little bit later, I got to learn a phrase called cosmic latte. In the early 2000s, NASA took all the light from all the stars, aggregated that, and came up with a colour. And it was a creamy, milky beige that they called cosmic latte. Whenever I think of my friend Wendy, I think of cosmic latte because to me, my friend is filled with stars. My friend Wendy, a magnificent wonder, a symphony of cells and chemicals and specks of glorious light, all constantly dancing their intricate dance. Thank you.